Stephen Lin, in his book Rhetoric and Composition, asks the question, what overarching philosophy of writing instruction will guide your teaching? In essence, he is asking in what camp of composition theory do we reside? Lin references James Berlin's article, Contemporary Composition, the four major pedagogical theories, where in his writing Berlin identifies four pedagogies of composition: Aristotelian, current traditionalists, Neoplatonics, and epistemics. Lin states that these pedagogies differ in their view of the world, language, truth, and rhetoric. Both the Aristotelians and the current traditionalists believe the world exists independently of us and is perceived by our senses. According to Lin, the Neoplatonic camp believes the world is always in flux and our perceptions of it are unreliable, while the epistemic view sees the world and our minds as separated by a gap, and therefore the external world is constructed by the perceiver using contextual, social, and relational frames. Language and truth become intermingled in the world of writing pedagogy. The two ideas merge to create a greater understanding. It is at this point the Aristotelians depart from the current traditionalists. While both believe in the idea of sense perception, the Aristotelians take a deductive view of truth. According to Berlin, for the Aristotelians, truth exists in conformance with the rules of logic. Language, therefore, is the vehicle by which truth is communicated. Words correspond to reality when used properly. The current traditionalist view of truth is more inductive. We should rely on observation, not logic. Current traditionalists assert that clear communication need only provide the language which corresponds to the objects in the external world or the ideas in his own mind. For Neoplatonics, truth is conceived as the result of a private vision that must constantly be consulted in writing. Language is able to approximate truth. It cannot be fully understood outside of oneself, but instead can move us closer. Epistemic views look to truth and language as a transaction. Data must always be interpreted, structured, and organized. Order to have meaning. For the epistemics, truth is a joint venture between the writer and the audience, and language plays the central role in determining what shape truth takes. Rhetoric is the final area of concern for the pedagogies of writing. For the instructor of writing, this may be ultimately where we find ourselves. Those who believe rhetoric deals with the logical, the arguments that are both rational and emotional, which when used well will move the audience to your side, are Aristotelian. If instead you see the rhetoric as simply a way to take what is known in the world and adapt the pre-existing knowledge to the needs of the audience, then you are aligned with the current traditionalists. If you see rhetoric as a place where truth cannot be fully expressed, but dialogue can bring us closer to it, then you reside with the Neoplatonics. Finally, if you see rhetoric as a way to create meaning, to shape reality, to develop community, then you dwell with the epistemics. Overall, no one writing pedagogy is better than the other. No one view, approach, or process is worthy of more merit than the other. Your pedagogical stance simply defines how you will operate in the writing classroom. As Berlin states, to teach writing is to argue for a version of reality and the best way of knowing and communicating it. And all composition teachers are ineluctably operating in one realm, whether or not they consciously choose to do so.